everyone, welcome back to Suzerain. I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode. I really enjoyed it as well. Now, let's see where we left off. President votes on bill, MP shot. Yeah, I forgot somebody got shot last episode. I believe it's the leader of the Communist Party, I believe. Or at least a very important figure in the Communist Party. Freeze, economics. Alright. Got our economic stability. Emergency meeting. The mood in the Situation Room was gloomy. My cabinet members were gathered to discuss the shooting outside the palace. Elise presented the initial report. Bernard Circus was shot dead at 9:03 p.m. in front of the palace gates. He was an elected independent member of the assembly, and as you know, a famous communist. She spat the last word out with some distaste. The guards at the scene were 50 meters away from the immediately took action by responding and killing the assailant, who was identified as a member of the nationalist organization Young Swords. Damn. Yep, an MP was shot near the palace. That is absolutely unacceptable. Yeah, that's basically what I just said. I agree. We are evaluating our security measures and how our recession has affected my ministry negatively. This may well create a dangerous atmosphere where the left versus right political violence of the 1920s could spark once again. A return to those days would be devastating. The coups are the reason why our country stagnated for a decade. Nia Morgana, the Minister of Justice, sighed. The Red Youth has condemned the killing but didn't stop there. They promised revenge. This will turn and spark further aggression from the Young Swords. The whole cycle started because Bernard Circus expressed his views. We can't simply look away. Nia had always been one of the only members of the Justice Ministry truly deserving of the name. She had survived countless attacks on her character while fighting corruption within the ministry, and rising to power had only compounded her sense of moral duty. Freedom of expression is part of our Constitution. We can't have anyone, let alone an MP, shot for voicing his different opinions. Acknowledging that the Red Youth pose a threat to our country too, we should be called to dastardly and unknown how overstep, and they must fully agree we should protect the freedom of speech. Our laws do, and for good reason. Silence and voices only results in fear and stagnation inside society. We've had that before, and we know very well how it was. I hear your concern, but our police do their best to uphold the rights of our citizens. We will prevent such an act from happening again by making sure our security measures are reevaluated. The Minister of Defense, Joseph Lancia, grunted in approval. He towered over the rest of us in full military uniform, his many war medals conspicuously on display. Agreed, ma'am. Our gendarmerie will also help boost security in rural areas where possible. This might be more violence to come. We should refrain from making the issue a political one from the start. It will only add fuel to the fire. You are right. We need to calm the situation. Our government is capable to maintain security. Our job will reduce tension. Several police rushed to Moon Palace and everyone went silent. Regardless, a full investigation into all involved parties is underway. We will find subversives and punish them soon enough, Mr. President. I do my best to help coordinate the administrative task. Justice will be served and rule of law will return to this country stronger than ever. Only if we stay vigilant as a country. We must think about the upcoming budget. We need to lose sight in our real political goals like constitutional reform. I agree, internal stability must be maintained. I'm sure the Minister of Interior has already taken the necessary precautions. You can be sure that our police units and intelligence units are on increased threat condition. Nobody should be able to move a finger against our government officials. Lucian took some notes after checking the latest newspapers and reports. It seems that the tensions between the communists and nationalists will escalate further. It will be very difficult to pass any meaningful change if there is chaos in the country. We can't fix the reflection of their instability. We will make it through this and deliver our promises. If there isn't stability, you're right. We need to trust our ministers to stabilize the situation if we come through it. This will be it for today. We will convene again soon. Thank you all and keep us updated. The meeting concluded and the ministers left the room with concerned looks. It was hard to anticipate what would happen next. Well, things have gotten a bit rocky. I can just hit continue. Just continue. A few days later. How is this area? Under construction? Is it still under construction? We report police overburdened and Esther. Of course they are. Oh, illegal KA-47s. And it's, oh my god, a lot of unrest. I think we should do a security briefing first. Makes sense. I arrived and found doors leading to the situation room. Today's security briefing was arranged in two parts, starting with internal matters and moving on to external matters after a short break. The Minister of the Interior, Lilies Graf, and the Minister of Justice and Law, Liam Morgana, would join us for the first part, the law enforcement briefing. For the second part of the Ministry of Defense, Joseph Lanthea would join with a few high-ranking officials, including the Chief of the Armed Forces, Valen Kruger. I opened the door, and Lucia, Nia, and Leah rose from their seats. Sir? Let's begin. Everyone sat down except for Lucian. He put on his glasses and went through the documents in front of him. Shortly after, he raised his head and addressed the attendees. Mr. President, ladies, we will kick off today's meeting with an internal security briefing. I am assuming everyone has already been over the agenda. We will have busy schedules, so without further ado, I will jump into our first topic. As feared, the political atmosphere has worsened. The reports around the country indicate that tensions are rising as we feared. What's the status of on the Bernard Circus investigation? I have received news this morning that the investigation into the murder of Bernard Circus has concluded. Great news. Please enlighten us. The more we know, the better. After further investigation testimony, we have confirmed the motive and also the events leading up to the shooting. A few days prior, members of the Red Youth initiated a violent attack on a Young Swords local leader in Jen. We believe Young Swords then called for revenge, leading to the death of Mr. Circus. Since he often spoke against Young Swords and nationalist sentiments in the assembly, he was a big target, not to mention his radical communist views. Political violence needs to stop now. Yes, we've kept it at bay for so long, but it seems that there are now new triggers. Police handed over the report and pointed at a highlighted section of the document. The investigation revealed a very troubling fact. The funding sources of the Red Youth have a clear link to United Cartana, of course. This is proof they are meddling in our affairs. Exactly. Several Red Youth members with ties to United Cartana have been detained and information extracted from them points to preparation for a communist uprising in Switzerland. It isn't unusual for superpowers to influence other nations, but I think this case is a little far-fetched. The left lacks popular support in Switzerland. Nia eagerly lifted her hand. I motioned for her to speak. I went over the reports in detail. It would be wrong to jump to the conclusion about a clear foreign interference yet. United Cartana has humanitarian and cultural ties with many countries, including Switzerland. Clearly trying to explain. I trust Miss Grass's influence. This makes sense. Mr. Rain, we have done our due diligence and the funding. Operatives and strategy all point to a coup plot. She took a sip from her glass, water, and continued. Our police chief, Carl Grazer, has linked the funding channel to the United Continental Consulate in Benfi. As we know, the enemies of Switzerland are many, but we also have threats inside the country. We need to remain vigilant as people and nation. If we give up essential freedoms to purchase temporary security, we deserve neither freedom nor security. This is debatable. Yes, we know what more security and surveillance caused to this country under President Sol. Let's not forget President Sol, God bless him, brought stability after a long period of bloodshed and chaos. But moving on, our highest internal threat comes from the estimated 2,000 strong brutish. That's 20,000. 20,000 strong Brutish Freedom Front, led by the imprisoned Dulan Arg. They are a banned political organization, now militant, that is trying to incite racial violence. Are they supported by our British citizens? To some extent, luckily they can attract a wide audience of Blues, but they could potentially attract thousands if anti-Blue cinnamon spreads in Switzerland again. Our intelligence intercepted 2 crates filled with weapons close to the Rumberg border. They were filled with military-grade K-47s. That's the one I just read. We expect that more have been smuggled in. A group of Blues were caught with these guns at a checkpoint not too far away. The government of Bergia, Felix Braun, the governor, is already taking the necessary measures to counter the threat. Rumberg has been acting aggressively in the region for a long time now. I'm not surprised they would attempt to weaponize the Bluish people against us. Can we make a direct correlation between BFF and Rumberg? We need to take level-headed. We need to keep level-headed with Rumberg. They are looking for reasons to take action. They will play dirty while we play nice. It is a battle we will lose. This is grave news, but we must be careful not to choke the fire of anti-Bluish sentiment. Unfortunately, Governor Brown is directly calling attention to increase for this increasingly anti-Bluish stance. I must remind you, Governor Brown is directly responsible for the arrest of Dulan Arg, the previous leader of the BFF. It's true his methods can be extreme at times, but it was his policy that kept the region peaceful over the last decade. His misusing powers given to him by Tarkin Sol, this insane authority of the governor is surely a root cause. It will be very difficult to revoke the special status of Bergia under current circumstances. Miss Morna, the president no longer have the authority Tarkin Sol enjoyed. For now, yes, but with enough justification for it, would be possible. Anyway, we will be discussing it at a later time. Tell me more about the special zone. As you know, Bergia was given a special status by Tarkin Sol after a full-scale uprising by the BFF against the Swedish government in 1935. Those couple years were disastrous for Bergia. Dulan Arg and the BFF declared war on us, openly attacked our people, and occupied entire cities. It was a massive uprising, but I'd like to point out that the longest time they were in control of a city was 2 weeks. I wouldn't call that an occupation. I would call that an occupation. Despite the arrest of dueling Oregon 44 and the BFF, ceasing its activity, the special status of the region were never revoked. If a foreign group holds a city for more than a day, I would call it an occupation. Today, the special zone of Bergia gives the governor insane amounts of authority. He was in trouble with the law before for not following the central government's authority. Unfortunately, Bergia also has its own police force directly commanded by Governor Braun. They are not part of my ministry and only cooperate when they are forced to do so. This is a problem. Even though our forces have the authority to serve in Bergia, the special zone leaves the security of Bergia mostly in the hands of the governor. That leaves my hands tied. We should find a way to revoke special status. I would not disturb the status quo while we're facing it. It is asserted that Minister Cheer doesn't have full control over Bergia. How do I? There you go. Yes. The discrimination Bergia suffers is maddening. We should find a way to revoke special status of Bergia one way or another. Neil gesture at least. What is the second most important threat? It is the gang violence that is threatening the Nargis and Angling region. Two prominent organized crime families are at war, and the potential for bloodshed is real. Which two crime families? One known as the Coronelli, and the other is the Skinner cartel. They used to be allies until a recent disagreement. Both are active in the cities of Narbel and Esther. Liz, I trust you can handle them. I am doing my best, sir. I shall be honest with you, our current capabilities, we may not be able to prevent the further arming of separatists while maintaining order in Bergia, Nargis, and Angling. You promised to increase total security law and enforcement budget. You must keep this promise. We will stick to that promise. We will rid our country from separatists and violent thugs if you support us. I wish you would stop using the word thugs, Liz. The real problem is corruption, which is fueling the gang violence, and a very likely reason why these weapons were smuggled in. A higher budget could help end that all. Your ministry must tackle issues. These trusts seem more direct than a few bribes, yeah. They are, and they need all the attention they can get from our administration. Lilith and Neo were openly scowling at each other, Lilith turning her back to her notes. Well, this concludes the topic of the internal portion. Thank you for the updates, Miss Graff and Miss Morgan. Thank you for the overview. Have a good day. Until next time. The two ministers left the room. We took a short break before continuing on to the second part. Upon invitation, Joseph Lanthea, along with three high-ranking officials from the Ministry of Defense, walked into the room. One of the men was none other than General Kruger, the chief of the armed forces. Joseph made his way towards the table while others stood by the door. Mr. President, let's begin. Oh, Joseph, welcome. I brought General Kruger with me due to the escalation on our borders. General Kruger stepped forward and saluted. He had a strong jaw with a sharp cheekbone. His tall stature, uniform, and medals, combined with his deep and intense stare, made him look threatening. He was in his 70s, yet he had a bulky body that was the result of his commando training. Not only was he the second most decorated officer in Suzerain, he was also the longest serving. Salute him. I was a member of the military. He smiled at the gesture, bowed his head in respect. Joseph tapped his foot impatiently. He seemed uneasy with the presence of another high-ranking officer in the room. Gentlemen, thanks for coming to the significant gathering. Let's begin. Joseph and Vulcan took their seats and table while the rest of the officers stood by the door. Mr. President, the situation at the western and northern borders toward Roomba is very tense. We are observing deployments of divisions closer to our border. Roomberg has been acting increasingly expansionist in the past decade and also interfered in England, but now they are turned their sights on us. I trust the capability. Excuse me. I trust the capabilities of our armed forces to handle any threats. What is our current strategy? Patrolling close to the borders with our border force and keeping Army Reserve divisions near. It seems like they want to increase pressure on both externally and internally. Mr. President, if I may. Please, General. The picture is becoming clearer. The latest information from our interior about the weapons coach caches, and now there's an active military building up close to our border. The entire situation was analyzed by our general staff, and our prediction is of future territorial incursion by Roomberg. I have complete trust in the general staff. We will not let you down, Mr. President. The general staff employees are the smartest military individuals. I require increase in the military budget to list more soldiers. Only then we can stand strong against our enemies. So the enlarged armed force will hold them at bay. Vulcan is right. We do need to increase military budget. Although we don't see it eye to eye as to how to spend the budget. That much we agree on. I have my concerns about Roomberg too. We need strong allies to withstand such superior power. They are a nemesis. This is an unnecessary time to change. The war is coming, Mr. President. Whether we like it or not, we must be prepared. During the you said nothing about focusing on our military. I asked you to reconsider increase the military budget, the future of the safety of Suzerain. As you said, times change. Yusuf, we will see. Our forces would crumble under a decrease. Under a decrease in Roomberg would be much more. Our forces would crumble under a decrease, and Roomberg would be much more compelled to explore our weakness. Our country hasn't fallen to any invading force for 200 years. You cannot let it happen, Mr. President. We should find regional allies like Vazlan and Lesbia. Probably Lesbia. To deter Room, there are several options on the table. These options should be considered. They could be considered, but why pander to others when we can solve the issue ourselves? We have no true friends outside these borders. Everyone fell silent when the soldier entered Ru and let Yosef Nasif know they had a call home that come through from the ministry. Excuse me, Mr. President. Yosef left the room to answer. A few minutes later, he entered his room again. His expression had changed. Mr. President, there has been a Rumburgian military activity close to the Narba border. I just spoke with the local commander. Vulcan, we should go to the ministry and get further updates from our branches. Understood. Regular military readiness is the first call of action. If there is truly an extraordinary attempt, we will relay it to you immediately and wait for further orders, Mr. President. Go and show them the might of the Sword's armed forces. We will, and you can be sure of that. Hail, Swordland! Hail! They saluted and left the room. Rumor was already testing us, and the reports from the interior indicate references inside our borders. Communist nationalists, Bluish rebels, Roomberg expansion, and what's next. Suzerain had already been a key piece in the chessboard of the global rivalry between Arcadia and United Gotrana, but in the recent years there was no such aggression from Roomberg, not at these levels at least. All it takes is one tiny spark to start the flames of war. The phone rang. Roomberg had decided to close their consulate in Lackhaven. Yep. Boys. So let's see. Oh, national map. Oh, a regional map. That's better. So, Roomberg is about to go to war. Now it's very clear. Very clear. The latest dispatchment measure from leader William warned us regarding a pathway from the Martinsburg that allowed traders to escaping Switzerland. President Richardson has demanded border security be increased. He also sent his best wishes behind the protests in Switzerland. You and the other people are telling that you gotta mind your security, bruh. Crazy. Republic of England. The leader acknowledged has demonstrated to critique the balance of trade between our countries. Concern for phrase over how much Switzerland profits from the net trade in comparison to Agnolia. Prime Minister Van Horten requested a fair reevaluation of existing treaties and further negotiations. Whew. The Guild of Royal Allies. You run on the commercial names from members. This is the other one. This is a lot. Beirut. We're in the other. Oh wow, it's a whole other section of land over here. I wonder if we're gonna get any DLCs over here. Canton Security Park, the USR basically. Where is Canton actually? Wow. There's even a record here. Oh, this is the codex. It's a physical one. Where is Katana? There's Switzerland. Vakislan. Lesbia Wayland. Roomberg, Kingdom of Edmarg. United States of Calrad. Salamanora, La Sombre. I wonder where what you call it is. Yeah, that's the Roomberg. That's the Baronies. I don't even know what you call that. Like one Gomland. What's this? Oh, it's turns. Okay, what was I doing? Connections. Okay, let's get back into the national map. Open city information. Logistical issues, widespread protests. Dealing with the family at home. After a long day at the palace, I was finally home. I thanked Sergei and walked through the front gate, nodding at the two guards as I went by. Even as I turned the doorknob, I could hear Diana rushing down the stairs to greet me. I opened the door and there she was, standing in front of me with expectant eyes. Papa, you're home. There's my bright little daughter. I lifted Diana up and hugged her while trying to put the keys in the tray and exit the entrance. She was growing fast. Lifting her up was no longer as easy as it once was. How was school? Boring. I liked my old school better. I put her down and her expression turned serious. Papa, are the bad men gone? There was only one bad man, Diana, and yes, he's gone now. Okay, Papa. Mama, Papa's here. Monica appeared next to the kitchen door. She was wearing an apron and holding a spatula in her hand. Diana, what did I tell you? No running in the house. Yes, Mama. Monica approached me and kissed me on the cheek. A tantalizing smell wafted from the kitchen behind her. How was your day, dear? Terrific. I finally got to do some grocery shopping just like old times. I'm making your favorite. You mean... Yes, Zabla. Zabla is one my hometown specialty. A chickpea stew topped with beef braised and tomatoes and virgin spice and traditionally served in a clay pot. It was my absolutely my favorite dish, especially paired with cabbage. I've potent unfiltered wine from my region. Cabbage. Or cabbage. I don't know. It's a lucky day. What's the occasion? Where's the cabbage? Kiss Monica on the cheek. I just wanted to cheer her up a bit. Her smile faded, and she lowered her voice so that it didn't tell anyone in here, especially after what happened at the ball. I'm worried, Anton, for you, for the children, and for the country. Diana suddenly appeared next to us. Mama? Yes, we are. I'm hungry. We'll eat in just a minute. Will you help me set the table? Anton, can you tell Frank to come down for dinner? He's been sulking in his room all day. Monica started taking out the plates while I headed upstairs to fetch my son. Loud rock and roll music echoed from the hall down the hallway from his room. I caught a faint hint of cigarette smoke. I tried to open the door. The door was locked. I knocked on the door. There was no response. Yep, this sounds like Frank. Turn that rocket down. All right. What do you want? And no real cigarettes. And join your family for dinner. You smoke, don't you? I'm old enough to do what I want. Try and quit that nasty habit. You have to stop while you still can. Frank heaved a sigh. I handed me the packet and headed downstairs. I followed him to the living room. The table was prepared and Monica was laying food onto the plates. Come on, have a seat. I feel like I'm a bit, nicer here. At least where I was raised, it's my house, you live by my rules. So, you're getting a much more friendlier house to live in. You should be lucky. A lot of people don't get that. As we started eating, the room went quiet. Monica's cooking was as delicious as ever, but I had a feeling that wasn't the reason nobody spoke. Monica was the first to break the silence. Hey, do you know that they refurbished the grocery store? I don't know if you remember the owner. He's been there for every day for the past 30 years. Can you imagine doing the same job for so long? What if you were president for 20 years, for example? 20 years? 20 years, I'd be dead. I don't want this country to suffer under another soul. Agreed, that will never happen again. Anyway, if the grocer was a really nice person, he threw in some extra vegetables with mine. Frank suddenly slammed his hand on the table, rattling the plates. Monica and I stared at him. So this is how it's gonna be? We're just gonna sit here like nothing happened? Dad, you could have been killed. Mom could have been killed. Any one of us could have been killed. Yeah, man. And yet? No. Frank, you know I would never let anything happen to you or Rihanna, even if it cost me my life. I know, but still. Can you at least tell me something being done like this? It's real close to that. It was one rogue shooter. We were not even a target. But what if we were? Frank, listen to your father. If your father said we don't need to worry, then we don't need to worry. You have to trust him. Monica turned to me. We have to all trust each other. James calmed down the bed at the table. We finished our food in silence. Man, it's just ruining the mood. Frank got up first and retreated back to his room. Monica lifted Yana up and plopped her in front of the living room TV before returning to the table. I don't know where I saw a seat there. She sat down across from me. Anton, he is still young. I know, but there's still not so much longer we can shield her from the ugliness of the world. Yet at every opportunity on there, why is he still acting out? I know, but there's not much longer. That worries me. I made plenty of rash decisions when I was his age. You make plenty of rash decisions now too, Frank. Frank's not the only one who's scared, Anton. I promise, if there's truly any threat to the family, you will be the first to know. She got up, stood behind me, and massaged my shoulder for a moment before leaving me alone in the dining room. I sat at the table and drained my glass of cabbage. I don't know. I bet someone who could probably actually pronounce that is fuming. Had I been lying to Frank or Diana, was the threat to my family truly over? Continue. Time would tell. Let's see. Everything still the same? Everything looks the same. Republic of... The wake of Brunei Circus, the ultimate path, the prime minister conveyed Harvard Freaking Concept and legally recognized circus and following navigating ideas, eliminated the loss of both the literary and political world. She called for the memorization of circus countries and such agreement, reform Merle's commitment to the idea he espoused. Lesbia, Fortune, Strength, and Liberty, member of the UN, member of the OMAC, member of ATO. I would hope their military would be strong. Also strong. You know, we can't really tell ours. React to the arrest. Situation. Let's see our news. President Rain talks to protesters. President Rain visited the towns around Greater, which were heavily affected by the protests and riots that popped around the country, triggered by the death of Turkey. He was seen talking to President and listening to concerned citizens. They see the powerful message to Sorensen that the government is walking among them and listening to their problem. Horseway is desperately trying to restart Poland's economy after the recession, and this political unrest is not helping, said a Turkish scholar. Protests in Gruni. Protests are taking place in Gruni. A large congregation where the youth members have organized a sit-in and protest aimed at hampering public transport. The wrong economy. The government has made a decision to promote a planned economy, a decision which is based on flawed arguments of mind. They can believe that in the free market economy for good reason, not for enemy calls Arcadius himself. We don't support the excessive form of capital and Arcadius spreading across the world like in Lesbia. Our belief is that a balance can exist where a government can support the private sector with government money. The businesses could take the needed economic planning burden off the shoulders of the government. We disagree with a planned economy simply because you can't properly micromanage everything in a society where people need to be able to determine their own future. The sort of people don't deserve to be shackled. It is sad to know that President Rain doesn't think the same way. Political chaos. Call for protest. On the other hand, labor unions online have gathered to condemn national violence in Soreland and protest gunning assert accused Kibbener of provoking the public. Young Claude Van Champ, National Front Party, headquarters in Morna, committed Young Claude Van Champ, radical, unrest in Soreland. Yesterday, more than hundreds of national agents were supported to save the French victory. His office was stung by an aggressive group and several citizens were wounded. Another group of military fire shot at 5 people inside the Communist Party's local out clean floor. After receiving a gunshot complaint from the neighbors, police arrived at the scene to find 3 wounded and 1 dead. The ambulance was called but didn't arrive in time to save the wounded. Protesters have gathered to condemn the murder of Bernard Turkish, the nationalist stronghold. Geopolitics. Roomberg closes the consulate. Yep. Just hell, and hell that I'm going through right now. End of the day, it was late in the evening. The room palace was finally getting somewhat quiet when I returned to my office at the top. I eagerly approached my chair and sprawled out onto it. It had been an exhausting day, just like every day since I took office. Lean back and relax. Yep. What's that? Lean back and relax. Lean back and relax. Holzer Skyline was daunting but beautiful. I glanced downwards out the window and saw Sergei and the guards waiting for me by the main gate. I heard a couple of knocks on the door. My secretary Olivia Suno entered. Mr. President, Mr. Tusk is here to see you. You had a meeting with Elizabeth Fulton. I'm so sorry for not giving you a proper notice. Don't worry about it. Thank you for your understanding. After a moment, Mr. Tusk walked into the room. I'd met Stoiler's most prominent businessman once or twice, but never alone. He had large jowls, blindingly shiny shoes, and the air of someone who's used to getting things his way. Oh god. So, yeah, there we go. Anything you drink, Mr. Tusk? Water, whiskey, cognac. Preferably before you were born, sweetheart. I'll check the supply room. Olivia backed out of the office. She'd be apologetic as she did so. Yeah, this guy seems like insufferable. Walker hung his hat, which I could see was lined with mink. He fixed me with a long, hard stare. With mink. Keep not noticing the periods. He fixed me with a long, hard stare, then broke into a toothy grin. Good evening, Mr. President. I am here to congratulate you. Both sat down. My business partner and I wish you a successful turn as leader of our nation. Thank you, Mr. Tusk. I had no chance to say this at the ball without a panic, but we are very much looking forward to working with you. Thank you. I'd like to build a profitable relationship between us. That being said, there are some current concerns of mine that people are listening. Would you like to take the opportunity to clean this up? I'm listening. The ruins of the economy in Switzerland has influenced everything. The recession hit us all hard. Watching put a box of cigars from her jacket. I had the bought from Lesbia, the best cigars in the whole continent. Would you like to try one? I don't want to smoke. Like I said, I'm trying to get rid of this habit. Let me be truthful to my son. You go ahead. I don't want to smoke right now. Walter grabbed himself a cigar, lit it, and he looked out towards the city scenery as he puffed away. I argue that you purchased stock and interest in Arcadia, smart by their development new gadgets that are going to be powerful. With risk come reward. I spend money to make money, so let's see if it holds true. With risk comes reward. I expect a very good return on investment. You have a keen eye for business. I'll buy a couple thousand shares too to expand my portfolio. I hope the investment pays off for both of us, President. His eyes wander away from the moment. The assassination and troubles between the left and the right are worrying, but the recession is the root cause of these issues. For us, it's worrying to see that you have decided to put out a planned economy. I don't mind that we disagree on the economy. You do I, but you know how much capital Losberg represents. Even though you're pursuing this path, you're going to need further market investment to boost the economy. Lean forward in a chair. The higher investment was a good call, but the high-speed road would have been better, especially for business logistics. Our goal is to focus on the needs of people and our business. The intention is to boost the economy. The England region, I'm just going to be cordial with him. The England region was in dire need of investment. The most important goal is to divert investments where the most profits can be made for the treasury. We can be close allies. The group can help you get totally out of the recession, which would be key problem to solving your term. It could even determine your re-election. Let's start with a gesture of goodwill. Soon the investment project company will be awarded to one of the three major contenders. My personal bank details were listed on the way to deposit $50,000 ready to be transferred. This was 6 months of president's salary. If the contract were somehow awarded to Underhaul Construction, they would not only work hard and deliver, but also do it on time. What do you think, Mr. Rain? Would that be good? Real estate by the mayor of country yet? You say you're Underhaul Construction, okay. Wouldn't that be good? He puts it in your finger tray. There was a noise by the saying you're holding a tray of 2 bottles with 2 glasses. I'm so sorry, Mr. Tubb, but all I could find was 1942 Tiffany. Hopefully that's acceptable. She closed the tray on the desk and walked to the altar as herself. Remind me to visit your office more often. Office more often? No, where were we? Do we have a deal? Both know we can do better than that amount. No, I will make my own decisions. thank you for the visit nonetheless. You say hello to Mr. Kronti for me. He smiled. Walter stood up and grabbed the jacket. Have a good evening, Mr. President. Yeah, it's like I might still go with underhog construction, but you never know. I wouldn't want to take a bribe from the guy. I'm pretty sure it only goes to my personal fund anyway, which to me doesn't really matter. It's the government budget that really matters. If it made me, did you accept the offer? Sure didn't. How can you even ask me that? The girls have told me about all kinds of deals that went under Anfeldo administration. I wasn't sure that you were that kind of president. I am most certainly not. She and I took a moment to look out over the lights of the city before heading to the elevators. Wow. That is a lot of things to look at, which we will be looking at next time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This has been really fun. It's very nice to be role playing this, president. The last 5 changes. Our economy just shrink again. Oh, it was probably because of all the protests. Hopefully, because it was right here, and then it just. I hope. By next time we play, we improve the economy, we deal with all these issues, and it just makes, Switzerland just a stronger, better place. Well, that's the end of the video. I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.